Hi, it's Katrina! From expensive futuristic suits to stolen artifacts found, here are 10 incredible archaeological discoveries. Number 10. Jade Burial Suit. The Han Dynasty in China was extremely powerful and rich. The royal and the wealthy for some reason chose a very unique burial suit that looks almost robotic, pieced together with mosaic tiles made from jade. These jade suits were extremely expensive, and for centuries people believed that these suits were just legend. Jade was the most precious stone in ancient China that symbolized purity and moral integrity. But in 1968, researchers announced the discovery of a tomb with an extremely well-preserved suit, proving the stories were real. Then they discovered another complete suit. One of them had 2,498 jade plates and over 2.5 pounds of gold wire. Subsequent discoveries of more jade suits led researchers to conclude that they were probably fairly common among the Han Dynasty's wealthiest aristocrats. Unfortunately, many, if not most, jade suits were likely lost to grave robbers at some point in history. Other suits that have been found were made up of small square or rectangular pieces, although archaeologists have found others made with triangular, trapezoid, or rhomboid pieces. The pieces were sewn together with wire, and some suits were held together with gold, silver, or silk thread. It looks like the type of string that was used depended on a person's social status. Emperors' suits were threaded with gold, while suits belonging to princes, princesses, dukes, etc. contained silver thread. Copper thread was used for the sons and daughters of those whose suits were bound with silver, and lower-ranking aristocrat suits were held together with silk. All other members of society were forbidden from having a jade burial suit at all, and they probably couldn't afford it anyway. People did not always follow these rules, and it looks like some tried to make these burial suits out of other, less expensive materials. On average, it took several years to create just one suit. These are now recognized as some of the greatest treasures in China. Number 9. The Hermit King's Lair. Located near the River Trent in the countryside of central England, a site called Anchor Church Caves once served as a refuge for an exiled Anglo-Saxon king. Long regarded as an 18th century folly, in other words, a building made for purely decorative purposes, this structure probably served a real purpose. The cave house was built around 1,200 years ago and may have housed Northumbrian King Eardwulf, who was deposed and exiled for unknown reasons in 806 AD. The disgraced medieval monarch lived during a politically turbulent time that was marked by persistent fighting between kingdoms and kings. Eardwulf was removed from power, possibly by his own son, just 10 years after he murdered two of his predecessors and took the throne in 796 AD. He spent the rest of his life in exile in the neighboring rival kingdom of Mercia. As unusual as this sounds, living as a hermit in caves was one way for former royalty to take on a religious life of sorts, according to archaeologist Edmund Simons, who spoke with Live Science. A reconstruction of the cave's original plan consists of 3 rooms and a chapel. Simon said that cave dwellings like this may represent the only surviving examples of Saxon architecture. He participated in a study that identified 20 other cave houses in west-central England, dating as far back as the 5th century. During the 18th century, English aristocrat Sir Robert Burdett repurposed the Anchor Church Caves as a dining space for him and his friends. They could eat outside in the privacy of the magical, secluded area. Who wouldn't want to eat here? Historians are excited that there is a building 1,200 years old in plain sight, and they are hoping to find more. Number 8. Medieval Nubian Cathedral. Using remote sensing technology, a team of Polish archaeologists working in Old Dongola, northern Sudan, recently discovered the largest Nubian church ever found in the region. This suspected medieval cathedral may have served as a seat of power for archbishops when Christianity gained a foothold in the Nubian kingdom of Makuria during the mid-6th century. Earlier this year, a team led by director Artur Obluski from the Polish Center of Mediterranean Archaeology found an empty space in the town's underground citadel. When they investigated further, they expected to find a town square that perhaps hosted communal prayers. Instead, the team encountered the structure which proved to be a vast medieval Nubian cathedral, far from the rest of Christendom, but probably one of the most powerful Christian communities in Africa. At the site, they unearthed 2 apse walls decorated with large figures, as well as a large domed tomb, which Obluski believes may be the burial of an archbishop. The building measures roughly 85 feet wide and is about as tall as a 3-story apartment building. After thriving as a Christian center into the 14th century, Dongola fell under the influence of Islam. Excavations have been ongoing since 1964 and currently aim to document the final period of Christian Dongola, as well as the development of pre-colonial African societies. Further research will hopefully help Obluski and his team accurately date the cathedral, which was likely built during a time period when churches were influential landowners that were typically run by elites and royals. Number 7. Mediterranean whales. Around 2,000 years ago, during the 1st century, the famed Roman author, naturalist, and philosopher Pliny the Elder wrote about orcas hunting whale calves in the Mediterranean Sea near the Strait of Gibraltar. During the summer, the killer whales viciously slaughtered mother whales and calves in the Bay of Cadiz, according to Pliny's account. What's weird about this is there are no killer whales in the Mediterranean. No one has seen killer whales off the coast of Spain. In fact, not many whale species are seen in the Mediterranean, period, and none are known for breeding in the region, leading researchers to believe that Pliny may have mistaken dolphins for whales. But dolphins aren't known for slaughtering mother whales and calves either. Now, groundbreaking research carried out in recent years suggests that Pliny's account is factual. A 2018 study describes the discoveries of bones belonging to North Atlantic right whales and Atlantic gray whales, which were found among the ruins of an ancient Roman fish processing facility along the Strait of Gibraltar. Unearthed in the ancient Roman city of Baelo Claudia near modern-day Tarifa, Spain, the evidence fits perfectly with Pliny's claims, even if it does not remotely reflect the region's ecology today. Lots of things have changed in thousands of years, not just the rise and fall of empires. The discovery has prompted experts to wonder if the Romans harvested whales, in addition to their known tradition of harvesting tuna and other large fish. According to lead study author Ana Rodriguez, while ancient fishermen lacked the technology to venture out to sea and hunt large whales, it's possible that they may have taken advantage of the opportunity to kill them while they were close to shore. Ana further explained that the study shows how even heavily studied regions have surprising elements to their past, leaving one to wonder what else has been lost to history in places like the Mediterranean. Number 6. Prehistoric beast. One of the first vertebrates to evolve on land lived around 310 million years ago in what is now the Mason Creek in Illinois. Dubbed Jormungandr bolti, the creature was a microsaur measuring just 1.9 inches long. It had a long, slender body with short limbs and a blunt skull. The species is named after Jormungandr, the world serpent of Viking mythology that was large enough to wrap its body around the earth and which once battled Thor, the Norse god of thunder. It had specialized scales that scientists believe were meant for repelling dirt, indicating that the ancient reptile burrowed underground and slithered like a snake, according to a recent study. J. bolti went extinct around 251 million years ago. The fossil is giving scientists the rare opportunity to learn more about early microsaurs, which they believe were the first amniotes, a type of backboned animal that developed embryos and fluid-filled eggs, according to the University of California Museum of Paleontology. If this is the case, then J. bolti's snake-like body is evidence that animals diversified faster on land than experts originally thought. And now for number 5. But first, want to give a big shout out to Zach Picer and Earth. Earth is watching our videos. Thanks so much for supporting Origins Explained. If you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more videos about archaeology and amazing discoveries. Number 5. Stolen Roman frescoes. Sometime during the 1970s, someone illegally cut out 3 fragments of a 1st century Roman wall fresco in Stabie, a village near Pompeii. The pieces contain images of a dancing woman carrying a tray, a woman's head, and a cherub playing a flute. Law enforcement recovered the relics last year as part of a bigger investigation into illicit artifact trafficking. Records show that the frescoes changed hands between American, Swiss, and English antiques dealers several times during the 1990s. 3 other stolen frescoes that were seized in the investigation were found by police in 2012 in the village of Civita Giuliana, which is located to the northwest of Pompeii. Officers found the works after discovering a hidden tunnel leading to an illegal archaeological dig. Thankfully, police stopped the thieves before they carried out their plans to smuggle the stolen frescoes abroad. The suspects' criminal trials are ongoing. Meanwhile, archaeologists have continued to excavate at Civita Giuliana and have found an array of fascinating artifacts, including the remains of 3 harnessed and saddled horses, as well as the remains of 2 people who died side by side. The return of important archaeological artifacts to their rightful place is a big deal, because once they are taken and switch hands and it becomes all about the money, the entire story gets muddied and confused. Number 4. Viking-era tombs. Lasting from around 800 AD to 1050, the Viking era was kind of short, yet it made a long and enduring mark on European history. Discoveries from this fascinating period are continuously being made, with one of the latest consisting of 7 Viking-era tombs in the ancient Swedish town of Sigtuna, near modern-day Stockholm. Dating back to the 900s, the burials were built around the time Sigtuna was founded. They contain the remains of 4 adults and 4 children, and 2 of the children are believed to be twins. Based on their small size, the pair appeared to have died during or shortly after birth, according to project manager Johan Runer, who spoke with Live Science following the discovery. Archaeologists also found a handful of artifacts, including a leather belt with iron fittings. Silver coins were found in one Viking's mouth, which was once a common practice throughout the region. He further explained that the tombs are some of the oldest Christian burials ever found in Sigtuna. At the time, it was common to cremate the dead, but the bodies were buried in the ground. The site also contains charcoal pits and caskets bearing evidence of fire damage, which is a first for the area, although these archaeological features are customary for the Viking Christian period. It was kind of a mix between Christian and Viking practices. Some of the tombs had stone structures that are also typical of Viking-age Christian burials. Number 3. Ancient Egyptian warship. At its peak around 2,400 years ago, the ancient city of Heraklion was Egypt's largest Mediterranean port. Its ruins are now submerged in Abu Qir Bay off the coast of Alexandria, where archaeologists recently discovered a wrecked warship from Heraklion's final years of existence. Found beneath a crumbled temple and 16 feet of clay, the ship's shape suggests that it was built for speed. Measuring 82 feet long, the vessel's hull is 6 times its width, indicating that it could travel quickly and was not meant for holding cargo or passengers. Based on its flat bottom and keel, which are useful for traveling in shallow water, researchers believe the ship was built for the Nile River. Heraklion, also called Tonis, was a melting pot of Egyptian and Greek culture. This is evident in the Abu Qir Bay ship, which contains a blend of Greek shipbuilding techniques and Egyptian design and construction. Experts believe that the vessel was built somewhere in Egypt using repurposed wood from older ships. During the 2nd century BC, a series of catastrophic earthquakes and tsunamis began to destroy Heraklion. The clay ground liquefied, collapsing buildings around the city and causing large stone blocks from the Temple of Amun to crush the ship. The vessel is remarkably well preserved thanks to the clay that buried it. It's only the 2nd warship from Egypt's Ptolemaic period that has ever been found. Number 2. Coin hoard. Located on the Taman Peninsula in modern-day Russia, the ancient Greek city of Phanagoria had numerous enemies due to its strategic trading position within the Bosporan kingdom. Phanagoria was extremely wealthy, owing to its advantageous location. For centuries, the city faced repeated attacks by the Huns, Turks, and other groups hoping to seize its wealth. When Phanagoria was raided during the first half of the 6th century, a quick-thinking resident placed their coins in an amphora and frantically buried the loot, which they never came back to get. Archaeologists found the container filled with 80 copper coins called staters, while excavating a layer of Phanagoria that bears evidence of fire damage from the attacks. Large parts of the city were torched, destroying homes, wineries, and public buildings. Experts believe that the nomadic Huns, or the Avars, a group who fled from the Turks, may have been behind the brutal invasion. The coins bear images of late 3rd and early 4th century Bosporan kings. While their minting was discontinued around 341 AD, the coins continued to circulate in the region, coinciding with the use of Byzantine gold as currency. Number 1. Roman road. The recent discovery of a Roman road submerged in the Venice lagoon indicates that the area may have been filled with settlements before the city was officially founded during the 5th century. Based on past discoveries of artifacts in the area, archaeologists have long known that parts of the now submerged Venice lagoon were accessible by land during Roman times, but they were unsure of the extent that humans occupied the lagoon. A recent archaeological mapping project of the lagoon revealed the presence of 12 structures in the Treporti Channel. Measuring up to 8.9 feet tall and 173 feet long, they appear to have lined a road. The findings build on the previous discovery of what appeared to be paving stones by scuba divers during the 1980s. Additionally, the team discovered 4 more structures that were up to 13 feet tall and 442 feet long, the largest of which they believe was a dock or other harbor structure. It looks like a whole permanent settlement may have existed in the now submerged Treporti Channel. They theorize that the road may have been connected with a larger road network in the Veneto region, and that sailors and travelers used it to travel between the northern Venice lagoon and the modern-day city of Chiaja. Thanks for watching! Do you want to go diving in the Venice lagoon? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you soon! Bye!